That night, no one saw anyone go in, and no one saw anyone come out. One house, 2 gunshots, 3 victims, but only 2 were found. In the quiet town of Barron, Wisconsin, where the nights are still and the sound of crickets marks the time, a family was silenced in a matter of minutes. The front door was blasted open. The parents were found dead, and their daughter, Jayme Closs, was gone. Not a runaway, not missing by choice. Gone. No witnesses, no footage, no trace left behind. The police had no idea where to start. Only one thing was certain: Jayme wasn't with her family anymore. Someone had taken her. This case shook America. And for 88 days, there were no answers. Until one day, Jayme walked out of the woods and told the world everything. This is the story of how she vanished and how she saved herself. It was just after midnight, October 15th, 2018. The kind of night where everything feels still, almost too still. At 12:53 a.m., a 911 call was placed from a cell phone inside the Closs home. No words, no conversation, just noise, muffled, chaotic, brief. And then silence. When officers arrived just 4 minutes later, they found the front door blasted open, literally blown off its hinges by a shotgun. Inside, they discovered the bodies of James and Denise Closs, Jayme's parents, each shot at close range. Both still in their pajamas, their car still in the driveway, TV still on. But Jayme was nowhere to be found. There was no sign of a struggle, no blood trail, no forced entry through any other part of the house. Whoever did this had come for one reason, and they got exactly what they came for. Authorities quickly realized this wasn't a robbery gone wrong. Nothing had been taken, except Jayme. There were no suspects, no prints, no camera footage, just a single haunting question: where was Jayme Closs? Within hours, the FBI was on the ground. Roadblocks were set. Helicopters scanned the forest. Search teams combed ditches, barns, cabins, lakes. But Jayme was gone, as if she had vanished into thin air. And what haunted investigators most was the door. It was locked from the inside, which meant whoever did this didn't just break in. They knew exactly how to get out. As the hours turned into days, and the days into weeks, the people of Barron began to wonder, what if she wasn't coming back? But what they didn't know was that Jayme Closs was still alive, and that somewhere in the deep woods of Wisconsin, she was waiting, watching, surviving. Barron, Wisconsin, a town of just over 3,000 people. The kind of place where the loudest noise at night is a barking dog, or the wind rustling through the trees. People know each other's names. They wave at stop signs. Kids ride bikes without fear. But on that October morning, everything changed. The yellow tape around the Closs house wasn't just a crime scene. It was a wound, a reminder that something terrible had happened right here among them. And the question no one could escape was simple and chilling. If Jayme could disappear, who's next? Searches began immediately. Hundreds of volunteers lined up to comb through fields, forests, back roads. Schools were closed. Helicopters circled the skies. Flyers were posted on mailboxes, gas stations, church doors. Jayme's face was suddenly everywhere, and yet nowhere. Tips started coming in, hundreds at first, then thousands. Someone saw a girl at a gas station in Florida. Someone else thought they heard screaming from a nearby barn. But each call led nowhere. Every lead collapsed. And day by day, Hope began to dim. The sheriff gave weekly press conferences. The FBI offered rewards. And the family, what was left of it, begged the public for answers. But the silence from Jayme's side of the story was deafening. And the more time passed, the more people feared the worst. The truth is, most missing person cases don't end with miracles. They end in memorials, and after 2 months with no answers, many in Barron began preparing for grief. But Jayme Closs wasn't gone. She was alive, hidden, waiting, just 70 miles away. And the man keeping her there? He wasn't a fugitive. He wasn't even on the suspect list. He was just no one, a name buried in the background until everything unraveled. Jake Thomas Patterson wasn't a name on any suspect list. He wasn't a local troublemaker. He wasn't even on police radar. In fact, he was invisible. Just 21 years old. Quiet, withdrawn, no job, no friends, no criminal record. No one knew who he was. Not even the Closs family. And yet, he was the one who murdered 2 innocent parents, the one who snatched Jayme in the middle of the night, the one who kept her hidden for 88 days, just a few hours north, in a remote cabin deep in the woods. Jake said he only saw her once, just once. She was getting off a school bus. He didn't know her name, didn't know her family. But in that moment, he made a decision. He said he knew, quote, "That was the girl I was going to take." What followed was weeks of planning. Cold, calculated. He shaved his head to avoid leaving DNA, stole license plates from another car, bought a black ski mask and gloves. And when the time came, he chose a night when the moon was dark and the woods were silent. At 12:50 a.m., he parked outside the Closs home, walked to the front door, and with a shotgun in hand, he stepped into their world. Jayme watched as her father was killed. She hid in the bathtub with her mother, but Patterson forced his way inside, shot the bathroom door, ordered Denise to place duct tape over Jayme's mouth, and then shot her too. Jayme was taken, wrapped in fear, dragged into a trunk, driven 70 miles away. To a cabin in Gordon, Wisconsin, a place he'd prepared just for her. For Jake Patterson, Jayme was never a person. She was a target, a possession, a fantasy he believed he could control. But what he didn't know was that she was watching, waiting, and planning something of her own. Because for every day Jake thought he had won, Jayme was counting the days until she could take her life back. The cabin was small, hidden deep in the woods near Gordon, Wisconsin. No neighbors, no visitors, just snow-covered trees and silence. On the outside, it looked like nothing. On the inside, it was a cage. Jake Patterson kept Jayme under his bed, not metaphorically, literally under his bed. He stacked bins, weights, boxes, anything heavy, around the edges so she couldn't escape. He turned up the music when guests arrived, though they rarely did. He made her stay silent, motionless, invisible, for hours at a time, then for days. No light, no clock, no sense of time. And when he left the cabin, even for groceries, he locked her in there, covered, hidden, like a secret he'd never planned to reveal. Jayme was 13. She had no phone, no map, no idea where she was. But what she did have was memory and a mind that refused to give up. She studied his patterns. When he left, how long he'd be gone, how he locked the doors, where he kept the keys. He gave her food. He made rules, but he never broke her spirit. In public, Jake Patterson remained a ghost. He rarely left the house, didn't speak to neighbors, lived like someone who didn't want to exist, and it almost worked. For 88 days, Jayme's face was on every screen in America, while the girl herself was hidden just hours away, under a bed, in the cold, waiting. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She waited for the right moment, for a single mistake. And on day 88, Jake made one. January 10th, 2019. Jake Patterson told her he'd be gone for a few hours. He left the house like he always did. But something was different. He didn't double-check the locks. He didn't cover the crawl space fully. Maybe it was carelessness. Maybe it was arrogance. But to Jayme, it was an opening. And that was all she needed. She waited, quietly, listening, making sure he was really gone. Then she pushed the bins away, pulled herself out, and started running. No shoes, no coat, in the dead of Wisconsin winter. She ran, through the woods, past the frozen trees, following nothing but instinct. After nearly a quarter mile, she saw a woman walking her dog. Jayme ran straight toward her, and in a voice barely above a whisper, she said, "I'm Jayme Closs. I need help." The woman brought her to a nearby home. They called 911, and within minutes, deputies were on the scene. Jayme told them everything, where she'd been, what he'd done, who he was. She knew his name, his car, his address. She didn't just survive. She solved her own case, just 11 minutes after the 911 call. Jake Patterson was pulled over and arrested. He offered no resistance. Just 4 words. "I did it. I took her." In less than an hour, the mystery that had haunted a town, confused the FBI, and gripped an entire country was over. Not because of a breakthrough in technology, not because of a confession, not because someone found her, because Jayme Closs found herself. Over the next few days, Jake gave a full confession. He admitted to everything: the murder, the kidnapping, the months of isolation and control. And the reason, there wasn't one. He didn't know Jayme, had no connection to her family. He simply saw her once and decided to take her. The courtroom was packed on the day of his sentencing, not just with reporters and investigators, but with people who'd spent 3 months praying for Jayme's return. And now, she was there. Jayme didn't need to speak, but she did. In a written statement read aloud by her guardian, she said, "He thought that he could own me, but he was wrong. I was smarter. I watched his every move. I took back my freedom. I will not let him take anything else from me."
Jake Patterson can never take from me. He can't take my freedom. He thought that he could own me, but he was wrong. I was smarter. I watched his routine, and I took back my freedom.
The judge didn't hesitate. 2 life sentences. No possibility of parole, no deals, no escape. Jake Patterson would spend the rest of his life behind bars, locked away, just like he tried to lock Jayme away. But justice isn't just about punishment. It's also about power. And Jayme Closs didn't just survive this nightmare. She took back the story. She stood in that courtroom and reminded everyone watching she wasn't a victim. She was a witness and a fighter.